5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bam.
Good morning.
We are back home.
Look at that. Don't you miss that cross wall?
Oh my God, yes I did.
I miss that cross. And that one, 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 that one. I miss them all.
Bam!
Dang!
I got a new one, you guys. Brother Eric and his beautiful other half gave this one to me today at church for our anniversary. It's a late little gift, but I was so blessed by it. We got something for you. What are you doing, weirdo? Anyways, so I'm going to find a spot for this on my wall.
That's nice.
It's beautiful, I know. And it's perfect because I know I love wood. And I love all that, wrought iron, old
But
look.
no, this is like that wire, like for keep cows in.
I know. Look, they know I like cows too. So this is so cool. I'm so excited to put it up. So I can't wait to put it up. Thank you guys. I know you guys are watching this devotional too. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We both thank you so much. We send lots of loves and hugs.
If it had a hole, I'd wear it as a necklace. What?
You're a dork.
So,
You guys, I'm losing my voice.
You're getting it back.
No, it's actually hurting even more because I had to sing today. But my throat's hurting and I had a fever. I had an earache. I came home literally on the last day of the conference. I got really, really, I felt really sick. And I was like, no, why? Why on the last day?
Well, we haven't had a chance to tell you guys. There was a huge fire in the Los Angeles hills. Okay, Northern California and Southern California is pretty much connected by one freeway for the most part. I mean, there's a few signs, but
It wasn't the Los Angeles Hills. It was the Saddle Ridge.
Whatever. I'm just telling them. You think they're going to know what that is?
Okay, go ahead.
If I say Los Angeles Hills
Okay, go ahead.
to people in New York, and right?
Oh, okay.
If you say Saddle Ridge, that doesn't mean nothing to them.
All right.
Right, guys? Comment below and tell me.
All right.
So-
Calm down. Anyways.
Northern California, Southern California is connected by that mountain range freeway, which is Highway 5. That is pretty much the only way up, other than little side roads on the coast and in the desert.
Yep.
That's it. So there was a fire there, and they completely stopped all traffic. I mean, completely. Like, this is the main. It would be like you cut a main artery, or you stop a main artery. In your body. Like, this is major.
Well, the worst part about it was that on the way to Oceanside, we decided to leave my son in the middle of that main artery, which was in Santa Clarita. So as soon as you go down that main hill, my sister lives literally right close to the freeway.
Yeah, Six Flags Magic Mountain is right there.
Yeah, right by there. So we dropped him off there. And then we continue to go about,
It's a mountain range, so there's no way around this. It's called the Grapevine. Huge mountain range.
And coming off of the Grapevine, that's where my sister lives. So we dropped him off there, and then we continued on to Oceanside. So on our way back, we're like, oh my God, how are we going to get to him? And how are we going to get him? So there was no way. We made attempts to go one way. We made attempts to go a different way. Every way that we would go.
Until we finally came up to I-5 and we saw it blocked. I mean, it was nothing.
Completely blocked. And then we would end up going these little side roads. And we literally ended up right next to the fire. Where the fire trucks were all at. And places had already been burnt down.
I don't think we're supposed to have been there.
No, we weren't even supposed to be in those areas. We're like, how did we even get into these little areas where they were prohibited?
Like, we drove by a truck that was burnt down, a shed or something that was burnt down.
Storage.
Literally, we're like feet away from smoldering fields that were already put out, but it was crazy.
It was crazy. So finally, what we...
Oh, you took pictures?
I think
on the
so.
phone?
I think so.
Are they on your phone?
Maybe like two.
Those, remember the smoky ones? Are they on there now? Because I'll forget to put it in.
Yes.
Can you show them?
Oh, you gotta look for them.
Oh, well, no, not really.
So what we ended up having to do is we ended up having to go past Moore Park, past all the way down
towards the coast.
Just imagine doing a whole sideways U to come all the way around.
Where we were trying to get to Abraham, if the freeway wasn't blocked, would have been 20 minutes. We had to go 6 hours, which should have been 20 minutes, but it was blocked. We had to go around like a giant U, around that mountain range, all the way back around. It took us 6 hours to do that.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, Oceanside is 7 hours away from home. So add 6 hours to that. And it was just crazy. Is that, you gotta lower the, which one shows really how it looked? Is that the most? Oh, your battery's low, huh?
Yeah. We've been using it all day.
Yeah.
Well, because it was so dark because of the smoke.
I don't know if that does it justice, but
No,
that doesn't do it justice. That just looks like a normal day.
Yeah. You can't really see it.
Anyways, it looked like the apocalypse.
It just looked dark.
So guys, anyways, we're glad to be back home. But being back, and then it's Sunday, which is always the busiest day of the week. So anyways, we're just grateful to be home. We're grateful. We're thankful. It was an amazing service today. I thank God the Holy Spirit moved. Please watch the sermon if you haven't had a chance to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had an amazing time just receiving throughout the whole week and everything. And, I learned so much, and I really opened up my heart to...
You're like almost out of the screen.
Sorry. I went there with an open heart, ready to receive. And coming back, I'm just ready to make a lot of changes in so many ways, And I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. So, even for us in these devotionals, I'm excited to see what God's gonna do. I'm excited to really dig in even more. There's been so much in my heart that has been burning. There's a new desire that I've been wanting to dig in even deeper, even for myself personally. And I just want to grow more and more, because I see more of a need out there, even more profoundly now, because we learned about legacy, and even more so now, I feel the importance of leaving that legacy now.
Yeah.
So I came home wanting to build my legacy, in others.
Yeah, and I'm going to use this example, but this is I'm not talking about cycling, but I'm going to use cycling as an example. I'm talking about ministry and the things that we're called to do. Is when I would cycle, I would get just accustomed to going at a certain pace, and I was fine with that. And if I would have never challenged myself, I would just stay there. But then I started riding with other people, and I realized, oh man, here I thought I was okay. But it let me, even though they surpassed me and passed me up, it gave me a goal of what I wanted to get to. And it gave me something to push forward to. And imagine if I had somebody riding with me that said, you know what, I'm just fine like this. I'm just fine like this. What happens is you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice of saying, I'm just going to stay with, behind, and we'll be fine, or I'm going to push forward, And in ministry, it brought me back with the new fire of pushing forward, because I know God has called us to things, but He's called us to even greater things than what it is that we're doing. In everything, in everything. And I'm not talking about greater things for self. I'm talking about, I want to see more salvations. Amen. I want to bring more people to Christ. I want to be able to dig in deeper and push further against the kingdom of darkness. And I realize that, I guess in seeing Grace International, there's people there like Grace International has been around for 85 years. That is a legacy. And the people that started it they're not here on this earth. And the people that the pastor that started Grace International, the people he poured into, the young people he poured into, are now old, and some of them have passed. And it made me realize as these men are talking that have been serving God for 50, 60, 70 years. And they're talking about everything they've done for the Lord. And it feels like the years have gone. You know? And who was it that said, I don't even remember. We heard so many preachers where he said, man, you know, he would ask the older gentleman, the person that was older, say, man, if you were my age, what would you do right now? Remember, I think it was Larry that asked that.
I think it was Larry.
He asked an elder of Grace International. He was talking about a conversation. He said, if you were my age, what would you do? And it made me reflect. And I'm like, I don't want to reflect back because I'm 47 right now. And I don't want to reflect back when I'm 57 or 67 and realize that I only half pushed. I don't have time to be held back by myself or anybody else that is just want to go halfways. I want to do this to the fullest. I want to be able to live my life and not have regrets about the ministry. To say, you know what? I just settled. And I don't want to settle. I want to push forward. And it's like I want to surround myself with forward-thinking people. Not people that are just happy to be here, but to go further than we've ever gone before.
Amen.
And that's what I came back with, you know, and that's the anticipation that I preached with today, because I had a few people tell me, oh man, something changed. What happened over there in Oceanside? And I can't even pinpoint it, but all I know is I want to go forward, and that's it. You know what I mean? That's it. And that's what we are going to do.
And you know what's amazing to me is that when Larry spoke, his father was mentored by one of the elders there, and the elder was also mentored by the founder of Grace International,
which is O.C. Harms.
Yeah, which was O.C. Harms. And you know what's amazing to me is that Larry is one of your mentors.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean, is that legacy, it just continues, because Larry has not just become a mentor, but a good friend of yours as well, from the same covering. And it's true about leaving that legacy. And I think you coming back and being able to also pour into others as well is so important, because that's what we need to do, you know?
Yeah. You know, another thing, I've always said this. I've always said this when I talk to other pastors. I say, you know what? I don't have a spiritual father. I don't, because I gave my life to the Lord in prison, and there was nobody in there to mentor me. There was nobody in there at all. Most pastors are pastors because they had a pastor pour into them, and they walked them through of how to start a church, of how to preach, of how to deal with people, of how to deal with situations. I didn't have any of that. And I've told people, literally, I'm a spiritual orphan. You know, and I've always felt this way. And I'm like, but that's all right, because many times orphans are resilient, and orphans are strong because they find the strength within themselves.
We sure are.
And I've sustained myself like that, you know. But it's crazy because, you know, and like for instance, Pastor Larry, who is the vice president of Grace International, all this time I've respected him as a friend. I've respected him as a man of God. I've respected him as a vice president of Grace International. But when I heard him speak out there, it's weird, because by the time his sermon ended, in my heart, he became one of my pastors. And it's weird, because that's weird to say, because I don't say that about anybody. A lot of times I don't. You know, Sharon can witness that.
Yeah.
I realized the legacy that O.C. Harms, who started Grace International, like you just said, taught Larry's father. And now Larry is somebody I consider a pastor to me.
Yeah.
Another person I consider a pastor today, I mean, from that, is actually Stu Johnson. He poured his heart out up there. He's the administrator pastor for all of Grace International, and he spoke his heart up there to the point where I had to make a beeline to him after. And I gave him a huge hug, and I told him, I am so sorry for not building a better relationship, communication, other than you're the administrator to Grace International. I said, I want to talk to you. I want to know you. And he gave me this huge hug. And his wife, I talked to her and she goes, I would love to just sit down and just spend 3-4 hours of just sharing our lives with each other and sharing, and I don't know. I came back different, and I've always been glad I chose Grace International as my covering. I've always been glad. But for the first time in my life, I don't feel like a spiritual orphan anymore.
Amen.
And that is something I haven't even shared with you. Not directly like that, but I don't know how you feel.
Yeah.
I
think I feel the same way. I've kind of looked at them like a sort of like a spiritual covering over us.
Yeah.
I really have. I look up to them as mentors. I really, really do. And also Scott and Deborah.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
That's yeah.
To me, I love them so much.
Scott and Deborah are our Northern California district superintendents. They're the ones that, because Grace International are different regions, and our region is NorCal. Yeah.
But like you said, I think this was one of the best moments, because we did get to hear everybody's heart, because we did talk about legacy. And like I said earlier, I think because of that, so many things shifted. We did come back with a different mindset, a different heart. Mm-hmm. And I think we're just ready to really, really, I don't know, just see what God has for us in store.
Yeah. And it really left a huge
impact on us.
Impact to also for us to raise up leaders.
Yeah.
And I said it before. I've said it in videos before. Those leaders are going to be some of the people watching right now. You don't even know it yet, but we're going to be connected.
Yeah,
we're going to be connected, and you're going to help us further the kingdom further than Modesto.
Yes.
In your city, in
Amen.
your place, and it's going to happen.
I believe that.
So guys, the verse I want to get to is really simple. A really simple one, but powerful.
All right, let's do it.
It doesn't have to be a big elaborate verse. It could be a simple verse, but God, boom, drops it on you.
Old school toilet paper, because I don't have Kleenex.
Oh. Didn't we have some at the church?
I wasn't going to bring the Kleenex from the church. That's the church Kleenex.
There's times we've taken our Kleenex there. So, okay. You guys ready?
Funny.
Why?
Because you want me to take the Kleenex from the church?
Why not? Sometimes we've taken our water. Sometimes we've taken
our toilet paper.
So come on, man.
Our trash bags.
Exactly. Right? You guys agree with that?
I guess I could take a box of Kleenex, but I didn't.
Okay. So the verse that we are going to, I don't remember where it's at. Oh, okay, there it is. 1 Peter chapter 1.
1 Peter chapter 1.
13 through 16.
13 through 16.
You ready? 1 Peter.
I know, just that.
You already have it. Oh, it didn't go to it?
It didn't go to it for some reason. Is it?
Yeah, you're already there.
Oh, it's there. And I think it's... It usually shows it to me up here, but for some reason it didn't. Right there.
Okay.
Woohoo.
Therefore, 13, gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and rest your hope fully upon the grace that is to be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ, as obedient children, not conforming yourselves to the former lust as in your ignorance. But as he who called you is holy, you also be holy in all your conduct, because it is written, be holy, for I am holy.
Nice. So roll up your sleeves, put your mind in gear, be totally ready to receive the gift that's coming when Jesus arrives. Don't lazily slip back into those old grooves of evil, doing just what you feel like doing. You didn't know any better then. You do now. Whoa. As obedient children, let yourselves be pulled into a way of life shaped by God's life. a life energetic and blazing with holiness. God said, I am holy, you be holy.
So that was actually the main verse, was that last one, that God says, I am holy, you be holy. And so to conform is like, do you remember like when we were kids, we played with Play-Doh? And it can go in any shape. Sometimes, remember those Play-Doh things, like you can make spaghetti?
Yeah.
Or you can, like the cookie cutter things. See, that is us before Christ. We're just this Play-Doh doing any of which thing we want to do. But God says, I want you to conform into me. I want you to identify with me. I am holy. I want you to be holy. I like what it says there. It says, as obedient children, let yourselves be pulled into a way of life shaped by God's life. So if you're this Play-Doh, if you're this thing, it says, let yourself be shaped like obedient children and put your shape into the life of God. Why? Because it says a life energetic and blazing with holiness, because God is holy, so we need to be holy. And that is powerful. Because a lot of times we want to come into Christ like just Play-Doh with no shape or form. And we want to do what we want to do in the shape we want to do it in. Especially in this day and age where everybody wants to be independent. Everybody wants to make a statement. But this ain't about you. This
then
ain't about me.
You're going to end up looking like Gumby.
This ain't about you. This is about him. He's holy. Therefore be holy. Yeah. What does holy mean? It means set apart for God.
Amen.
That's what that means. It means set apart for God. I remember when I was a kid, my mom would make chicken. Guess who got the biggest piece? My dad.
Yep.
That piece of chicken was set apart for my dad. Nobody could touch it. It was set apart for him.
Well, guess what, baby? Now you get to have the big piece of chicken.
I know. So, in the same way that chicken was set apart, you, my friend, my sister, my brother, you have been set apart by God for him.
I miss Moses now. That's the way he says it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where you got it from, probably.
No, I don't know. Maybe subconsciously.
I think, yeah.
You have been set apart. You don't belong to the enemy anymore. You are holy. So God is holy, so be holy. You are set apart. So like it says here, roll up your sleeves, put your mind in gear, be totally ready to receive the gift that's coming when Jesus arrives. Don't lazily slip back into those old grooves of evil, doing just what you feel like doing. See, that is the way of the world. You can't conform to that anymore. That is not you anymore. You are set apart.
You know what's crazy? It says you didn't know any better then, you do now. It had given you some grace right there even.
Yeah.
It says like you didn't know any better then. That's why I gave you grace, because you didn't know any better then, but you do now. It's like
you do now.
I gave you some grace because you didn't know any better then.
Yeah.
But guess what? You do now.
Yeah.
So I hope you have it right.
So before Christ, you gossiped. And God's like, you know what? You didn't know better. But now you're in Christ, you know better. Before in Christ, you did this, you did that, you did all these old things, but you didn't know any better. But you come to Christ and you go back. No, you know now. Because you have been set apart. You are holy. You are set apart for God. You don't belong to the enemy. That piece of chicken don't belong to the enemy. The enemy can't grab you and just eat you up anymore, because you've been set apart for God, the living God, the holy God. He's holy and he's set apart, so he sets you apart. You know, I love how it starts. It goes, roll up your sleeves. What does that mean? You know, I remember one time, probably a lot of you did this. When I was young, I was 18. It says they're looking for carpet cleaners. They were giving jobs, right? And I go like a big dummy learning. I thought I was going to go and learn to be a carpet cleaner. And it was a Kirby salesman. They're basically teaching you to sell Kirby's.
Oh my God. I would have had a Kirby sales.
I was 18.
Oh my Lord.
So I'm like, wait a second. I thought I was applying to be a carpet cleaner. They're like, no, you are. You're going to sell Kirby's. And I'm like, what? Anyways, I bring that up to say this. He goes, yeah, when you go, I actually stayed for the first few hours because apparently it was a seminar. My
sister bought a Kirby.
Yeah, my mom, they're actually good vacuums. My mom bought one. They lasted years, like over a decade. Yeah. So Anyways, apparently I thought I was going to get hired, and it was really a seminar on teaching you how to sell Kirby's. And as soon as they did lunch break, I left and didn't go back. But in that first part, he says, when you go into a home, he goes, first thing you do, he goes, you roll up your sleeves, because you're in a sneaky way. You're not trying to be a salesman. You're actually there supposedly to clean their carpet for free, because they'll call this number, we'll clean your carpet for free. Really, it's to give a presentation. He goes, but anyways, the salesman goes, yeah, roll up your sleeves. That way they know you mean business. Anyways, right here it says, roll up your sleeves. Because what does roll up your sleeves mean? It means you're going to work. So guys, when you're in Christ, there's work to be done. The Great Commission is to go and preach the gospel to all the nations. That doesn't mean you sit around an office. It doesn't mean anything. It means you roll up your sleeves, because you're about to work. So he says, roll up your sleeves and put your mind in gear. So this whole thing of living a Christian life is putting in work. It's putting in work and going forward. And it's like, we need to go forward, not backwards. You roll up them sleeves, put your mind in gear, and be totally ready to receive the gift that's coming when Jesus arrives.
Amen.
So we have to be holy, guys. We have to be set apart. You can't act the way you used to act. Like it says in the New King James translation, it says, be as obedient children, not conforming to the former lust. Don't conform to the things that you used to conform to. Don't fall into the things that you used to fall into. Don't go back into the habits of the things you used to do. Why? Because you got to be as obedient children, not conforming yourselves to the former lust, as in your ignorance. That's what it says. You were ignorant before. You didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't.
You didn't know any better.
Yeah.
He goes, but as he who called you is holy, you also be holy in all your conduct. Listen to what that says. In all your conduct, in the way you talk about others, in the way you talk about yourself, in the way you believe about yourself. You got to conduct yourself the way we're supposed to in Christ.
Amen.
And it's just, it's no time for games. This stuff is real. There are believers right now in this world dying for this thing. There are families starving. Do you realize in some countries, in Muslim nations, just because you're a Christian, they pay you less. Even if they hire you, because most of them don't hire a Christian. In Egypt, remember they got to live in the what's it called? In the city dump.
Oh yeah.
And they learn to make things out of the trash.
It's called Dump City.
It's called Dump City. Look it up. Google it. In Egypt, it's called Dump City. You know who lives
Garbage City or something like
that?
that.
Yeah, Garbage City. You know who lives there? Christians.
Yeah.
Because nobody will hire them.
Yeah.
So they live in the dumpster and they make things out of the trash of others to try to sell. That's how they make a living. And we're here playing games.
Yeah.
And gossiping and talking and doing this and doing that and being fake and wearing a mask and being double-minded and come on, man. We ain't got no time for that. It is time to push the gospel, but we can't do it unless we're being true to ourselves and true to those around us, because we're supposed to be holy and our conduct is supposed to be holy, so we can push forward and push through for the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And it's good to see you guys again. It's good to be back home.
It is
good to
really
see the
good
crosses
to
behind
be back
us.
Home. I'm ready to add my new cross on here. I'm excited. And you guys watch that. Watch the Sunday service.
Yeah. And Brother Johnny, you're a Muppet.
You just had to go there, huh?
It's all right. He's my Muppet. He's my Muppet homie.
Oh, see, he loves you.
Johnny, I know you're probably listening to this driving. You have a long drive ahead of you. Just be safe out there, brother. You were probably one of my best friends. And
were?
I said you probably are.
Oh.
I can't say he is because other people get hurt.
Oh gosh.
But brother, I really regret not seeing you, but I understand. He has a 3-hour commute. He has to get up at 3 a.m. So, I mean, I was really looking forward to seeing you, brother, in Oceanside, and I always give you a hard time if I don't, but I'm not going to give you a hard time this time.
And we always see Deanna too, and we didn't get a chance to see Deanna either.
But I didn't get a chance to see you, brother, and I understand. You're working to take care of your family, so I get it, you know what I mean? But I wish you the best on your commute and on your drive, but you're still a Muppet.
All right, and Deanna...
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to take a drive to go see you.
Yeah, we're so sorry. It was so busy, this conference.
Yeah, it really
we didn't even get to do our bike ride. Like every year we do our bike ride on the Silver Strand Trail, and we didn't get it. We took our bikes.
And didn't even get to go
didn't
out
even
on
touch
them
them
at all.
I just rolled them into the hotel room and rolled them back into my car.
Out. We're bad.
Didn't even get to ride my bike. And
we didn't get a chance at all.
So, yeah, we
didn't
apologize.
Get to see Romeo. We didn't get to do a lot of the things that we normally do because we were really, really busy and involved in a lot at the conference and stuff. So, but you know what? We were absolutely blessed. I do want to thank everybody that helped out Pastor Moses once again.
Yeah, of course.
With everything. And we are just looking forward to so much. So,
yeah,
you guys, family, we love you guys.
Yeah.
Keep those comments going. Don't forget to share, hit like, let us know your thoughts and, any ideas that you guys have. And just let us know if there's something specific that you guys actually want to hear about or want to talk about. Share with us. Share your thoughts with us. Let us know what it is that you guys want to also learn a little bit about. I know you guys know that David knows a little bit about history as well. Certain things. If there's anything specific that you want to ask him about or talk more about, talk to us, and share your thoughts and something with us as well. So maybe we can be able to maybe teach on that as well or touch on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys.
All right.
We love you guys.
Oh, and one more thing. Be patient with Pastor Moses on his channel because he's still not home in Uganda. He preached 4 times today in Houston.
Oh, wow.
So I think tomorrow he flies out to Portland, Oregon. And I think he ministers there next week. And then he goes home to Uganda. So he's not starting his channel videos until he gets home to Uganda. So he's not home yet. Just because he left us and the conference ended, he's still in the States. But I saw his post. If you have Facebook, he's on Facebook. Moses, if you have me on Facebook, you probably see him and just, he'll friend you. Pastor Thomas, same thing. Lucas, Levine, same thing. But be patient with his channel. He's not home yet.
Oh, and Sheila, I'm waiting for your visit too, young lady. So we got to make that date.
Cool.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hasta luego.
Good morning.